everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Saturday. I'm at the desk. It must be Saturday. I'm Michael Taylor, and we got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking to Harvard Eye Associates, Dr. John Hovnanian, and we're going to be talking about all sorts of tests that are out there, right? You can get peanut trial tests. Is it scary, or does it mean you're going to be a guinea pig? What happens if something goes wrong? What happens if something goes right and it works for me? All of those kind of things that you might have in case you wanted to ever do trial studies in medicine. We're going to be talking about that with him. And also, Fit Brain Club, Grace Carpenter will be on later in the program, so stay tuned for that. Hey, we want to keep you informed. Talking about fitness, talking about health, we got some free COVID tests out there, folks. Did you know that? United States Postal Service is offering up the free COVID-19 tests again. You can get them in the mail. I went to the website right there on the screen. Take a picture of that, if you want to. And you can go ahead and go on the website. One screen, really easy. Put my name in there, put my address, and they're going to send me those free COVID tests, which is a great deal. They have a limit, of course, to one order per residential address, and that comes with 4 individual rapid COVID tests that work for you. The orders do ship free, so it's absolutely no cost to you. The expiration dates have been extended on those, by the way. When they first made them, they didn't really know all the chemicals in there, how long they last, so they put some really short ones, but they've extended that. That's also on the website. You can see what the new extended expiration dates are as well. Hey, let's take a look outside at our weather. The working word for the weekend is going to be hot. It's going to be a warm one. We are hoping to get a little bit of cooling as we move into Monday, but not much relief in the way. So it seems like an air conditioning indoor weekend kind of thing to me. Watch some Saturday football in college, watch some Sunday football in the NFL, and enjoy the day. But if you have to get out, make sure you have some water. Make sure you stay cool and hydrated and in the shade as much as you can. Let's take a look at our sunrise and our sunset photo. We have another one from Mark Rabinowitz. It's a little bunny in the yard. How cute is that? These little guys are everywhere. I know they eat a lot of the grass, and people kind of think they're a little bit of a menace sometimes, but I love seeing them, so there you go. Sunrise was 6:49. Sunset is 6:27 tonight. If you have a picture you want to send, if you have a pet bunny, a pet cat, a pet dog, or just a great shot in and around Orange County or wherever you might be going, send it in to us, and we will put it on the air just like we did with Mark's bunny shot. Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com. Make sure you include your name, where you took the picture, and of course, make sure it's horizontal so we can fit it on the screen just wonderfully. When we come back, we're going to be talking to John Hovnanian from Harvard Eye Associates. Stay with us.
Welcome to Harvard Eye Associates. We're focused on your eye care at all 3 of our Orange County locations.
Our new location in Laguna Hills, Orange, and San Clemente.
Each facility features the latest in advanced technology and diagnostic equipment.
And a trusted collection of doctors that care about your vision and your quality of life.
We deliver what matters to you and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
And welcome back. We are with Dr. John Hovnanian from Harvard Eye Associates, and we're going to talk about medical studies. There's all sorts of studies that are out there going on all the time, right? What kind of things do you find in your practice that you're putting people into studies for?
Well, we at Harvard Eye, we're very interested in the future of healthcare. We're very interested in what we can do for our patients that maybe not is better than what we've done in the past. And so we're constantly doing different types of studies. We have some pretty strict sort of guidelines that we follow, sort of self-imposed guidelines. We want to be clear that if we're asking a patient to be part of a study, that it's something that has a clear benefit to them, that it's not just sort of testing them out. But we do studies across all different parts of our practice, from dry eye, which is a common problem here in Southern California, to patients with cataract. We've used a number of lens implants that have never been used before. In glaucoma, we have studies on laser treatments that can help people get rid of eye drops for that disease. And in macular degeneration, we have studies to look at better ways of treating patients who have that common disease too.
Okay. And what's the patient's role if they're like been frustrated, they've been doing the same treatment and things don't get better, and you run into that, I'm sure, where people just a maintenance kind of thing. Should they be saying, hey, what kind of studies are out there, or that kind of thing? Should they advocate for themselves?
It's a great question. Absolutely. So a couple things. One that you can always learn about is you can learn about studies that are happening in the area by looking at a website called clinicaltrials.gov. GOV is a government website from the FDA, and even studies that are not for unapproved products will appear there. So if you can look up the condition you have, look up where there are studies that are nearby, and see if it's something that might interest you. And it's a good idea then to ask your doctor if your doctor thinks that that study might be appropriate. Whether it's one that your doctor is doing or another center is doing, it's always a good thing to say, hey, are there any studies you're aware of that might be of benefit to me with my unique condition?
Right. Now, when there's a study, sometimes do you run them out of your office, or do they have to go to other clinics? There's a little combination of both.
Great question. The studies that we do are all run out of our office. In other words, patients come to the same place that they're used to coming. They park in the same place they're used to parking, and it's generally the same doctor that they're used to seeing. Although, at our practice we have 20 doctors and we have a whole variety of different specialists, often there's a nice benefit in seeing somebody who really specializes in the condition that the study relates to.
Now, sometimes they're getting medications, they're getting some new kind of things. What are the concerns that a lot of patients maybe come through the door asking about that? I'd like to do the study, I'd like to see if it can be improved, but what are their biggest fears?
So our goal is really the same as the patient's goal, is that they understand what the benefits will be to them if they participate in a study. They understand if there are any potential downsides, and usually those are pretty small risks. And then that they only proceed with participating in a study if it really feels like it's right to them. And there's just no point in pushing forward if you don't feel comfortable with getting involved in a study. So we're big on educating our patients and what they're about.
Yeah, people, the guinea pig kind of theory about that, like, I don't want to be a guinea pig, right?
That's right. Yeah, nobody wants to feel like that, and we don't want anybody to be a guinea pig. We don't do, quote, guinea pig studies. We do studies where you have fairly well-proven science that's maybe being applied in a slightly new way, but not a high-risk way to our patients.
Now, usually when it gets to human trials, as you heard, they're in human trials now. There's a track record of success that only gets you there, right? So we're not talking about unproven or unsupported testing when we're talking about this level, right?
Yeah, so research studies have a wide span of what they can be. So there are products that are FDA approved that still need to be studied because we may be applying those in different ways than we did before. We do a lot of those types of studies because we're trying to learn, really in a unique type of patient, how does this well-proven drug work? Does it work maybe better than another drug? Does it work better than nothing at all? And so those kinds of studies are usually helpful to patients who participate because usually they're getting the drug at no cost, and sometimes these are costly drugs, so that's a benefit that you can see. And they themselves will learn, and many people feel good because they're contributing to science. They're helping other patients in the future have better care. Then there are studies that are for not FDA-approved products, and there's nothing wrong with those either, but it's helpful to understand how much risk am I taking? If this has not been proven to the FDA to be safe and effective, how much risk really is there?
Right.
And some products are radically new, and we don't know everything about them. Others are just slight improvements on existing products that are well proven and safe. Two very different types of studies to participate in.
Now, on that side, when it's unproven FDA, sometimes folks are, and you might be getting a placebo. I mean, do people kind of stay away from that? I don't really want to be the guinea pig kind of thing. I don't want to be the placebo guy. I want to get to treatment and see if it works.
So it's really important to understand whether there's a placebo group. A placebo group, of course, means like a sugar pill or a treatment that's not really a treatment.
So they can have like a baseline and then let's see who got what.
Well-done research studies always compare to a control group.
Right.
Where we're not doing anything, except sort of going through the motions of treatment, and that allows us to learn that. And in some cases, that may be okay. Being in a control group for a condition that may not need treatment is probably okay because that would be an alternative that we might pursue if the patient were not in a study, right? So we learn either way, and it's if you've seen one study, you've seen one study. And so you need to ask your doctor, and
Right.
doctors are motivated not just to enroll patients in studies. We're not interested in experimenting on our patients. We're interested in advancing science and helping people. That's why we do what we do. So we give our patients the straight scoop on whether we think it's good for them or not.
Now, people, like you said, people can get paid for studies, but they're not. You're not making an income here, right? This is just kind of like your time and your costs for going back and forth. Really, that's the kind of payments we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a great question and a great point. So nobody gets rich from being part of research studies, but there are often cases where it takes a little extra time than it might if you were going through a regular doctor's visit, and so those studies will often compensate, and that compensation could be in the form of payment. It could also sometimes it's gift cards, and sometimes it's just a free, no cost access to the product that's being given. So either way, it's a compensation of sorts to the patient who participates.
Now, when we talk about people like you said getting a drug that is going to be expensive or something they couldn't afford, when the study's over, and maybe that patient's had success there, does that mean the free medication is over as well oftentimes, or is it kind of depends on the study?
It depends on the study. Usually it does mean that that period is over because studies have limited budgets too, and they can only subsidize the cost of a medication for so long. But we try, when we have that situation, to do everything we can to get extra samples and find ways to make it affordable to patients so that it's something they can continue to benefit
Right,
from.
and do the drug makers sometimes do kind of the same thing? They'll offer that maybe a special discount for people who participate in the study and things like that, so maybe there's a little bit of hope to prolong the ability to get that drug?
There are lots of different ways that we work with the drug makers to try to help patients to make their products affordable. So we do that honestly, whether somebody's in a study or not, but certainly there's a special place in our heart for our patients who try to help other patients and try to help us advance the science that we work in.
Okay, kind of try to bottom line it for me, and I know this is an impossible question. How much risk is really involved in doing something like this for a patient?
It totally depends on the study. In many of them, there is absolutely no risk at all. In some studies, you're not even doing anything different. You're just observing maybe more closely the treatment that you're already on for a condition. And so that's an example where there's absolutely no risk, maybe a little time spent. In some studies, we collect data on patients similarly, just observational data, and so zero risk. In other cases, if you're doing something that's first in man, that you have to think carefully about. Okay, what is this science based on? If it's a close approximation to something that's well proven, then that's probably just fine. We've done that with lots of lens implants. We've had lens implant technology for 50 years. We know pretty well what works and doesn't.
You're pretty got the
new
game
design. Yeah, as long as it's not. That's right. As long as it's not a radically different design, we could feel pretty good about using a new first-in-man type of lens implant. But something that's never been tried before, that deserves a conversation about. Well, here's what we're going to learn from this study. Here's what you can potentially gain, and here's what you potentially risk.
One more question on the caution side. If I'm starting to have side effects, something's going wrong, I don't feel right, or I'm causing pain, what should you do if you're in a study and those things start to happen?
Whether you're in a study or not, it's always good to communicate with your care team to let your doctor know. Ultimately, we really run toward patients where they're having an unusual problem, whether they're in a study or not, but particularly when they're in a study. We want to make sure that if there is a problem, is it related to the study product? Is it related to something else? And what can we do to minimize risk? In all cases, patients are in control of whether they're in a study. If for any reason you're uncomfortable, I tell my patients, don't participate from the beginning. If during a study you thought maybe this would work out well and for some reason it's not and you're concerned, no matter what anyone's telling you, it is absolutely the patient's right to withdraw. There is never a penalty or any threat of any sort of bad outcome. We're here to take care of our patients. We're grateful to them when they help us to help other patients through studies, but nobody ever gets pushed into participating in research.
Well, it sounds like a very interesting opportunity that folks at Harvard Eye Associates or wherever your doctor might be should ask about the doctor and see about participating.
You got it. That's
Dr.
right.
Hovhannissian, thank you so much for joining us.
So good
Appreciate
to
it.
see you and so good to work with you.
Absolutely. Thanks. All right, we'll be right back.
At Harvard Eye Associates
We are committed to your vision care.
and quality of life.
It's a commitment we don't take lightly.
Our trusted team of doctors provides specialized eye care using state-of-the-art technology.
We deliver what matters to you.
And your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.
Hi, remember us?
We're back,
Christine and Jack from the Jewelry Box.
which is now the Jewelry Box Estate Buyers.
Relocated in a new spot in our old shopping center.
But we're still Orange County's preeminent buyer of gold, jewelry, watches, and flatware.
And we're still a full jewelry repair center. And with our 3 graduate gemologists, we're still here to appraise your special pieces.
And like always, at the Jewelry Box Estate Buyers,
It's about trust.
Welcome back to This Day. Joining me now with the Fit Brain Club is Grace Carpenter. And Grace, it's so nice to see you as always. And you were just telling me you're getting ready to go on a cruise. How exciting.
All colors up the coast of New England to Canada, just a brief 6 days. I've never done the New England states, even though I was born in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I left very young, 20, and I'm a Californian. But what a trip to go back and experience the culture and everything. Boston, Bar Harbor, lobster.
Oh yeah, especially this time of year. That'll be wonderful. So where do you fly into?
We fly into New York.
Okay.
Yes, and my eldest daughter's coming with me. She's retiring this year, so it's kind of a celebration, retirement event for her. And she planned it all, and here we go.
Ah, so just the two of you, mother, daughter?
Just the two of us.
Oh my gosh.
The other
what a
girls
trip
have
of
to
a
work.
lifetime.
Yeah.
Yes. Aw. Well, bummer for them, but that is awesome for
Thank
you.
you,
How
Bobby.
exciting. I will enjoy to hear about it the next time I see you.
Thank you. I'm sure I'll have beautiful colors of leaves and trees
Yeah.
and memories.
The East Coast, especially the East Coast that time of year.
Yes.
Just amazing.
Yeah,
So,
happy memories.
Well, have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
So here to talk about the Fit Brain Club, and
Yes.
you guys have your meetings the second Monday of every month.
Yes.
So the next one is coming up next Monday, October 9th.
Yes.
Where do you meet?
We meet in the PAC, the Performing Arts Center, and there we are in Dining Room 2. I always tell everybody, just go right through the glass doors, and if you know where the ladies' room is, we're on the left, and the ladies' room's on the right. You're right there when you come in the doors of the Performing Arts Center.
Perfect.
And we're having Allison Lehrick, and she's been here before. She has a wonderful book of brain exercises, and I bought that, of course, when I first saw her years ago, because we believe that we can treat the brain as a muscle and keep it strong with exercises. But there are other factors. If we don't get enough sleep, that is one of the biggest. Of course, there's a genetic component to Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, but we can, forestay all that if we do exercises, if we get enough sleep. So with her talk, she'll be talking about when you're awake, constantly what we can do. Making word associations when we meet new people. How do we remember names when we get over 80? I'm like, okay, always associate it with a name or a place.
I had heard just recently, somebody told me, they said, if you say the name 3 times in the conversation, that usually you will then remember the name. So
That's
like when
very
you walked
good.
in, oh, hi, Grace, nice to meet you. And then a few minutes later, maybe I say, oh my gosh, Grace, I really like your earrings. And oh, wait, Grace, what was that you were just saying? And then now by the time we've split, I should hopefully have your name memorized.
Exactly.
So I haven't had I just heard that the other day, so I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but
That's a
I'm
terrific
hoping
strategy.
that will work. Yeah.
Oh, Bobby, thank you for that. Yeah. Yeah, so we have all of that. And the relationship to sleep, as I said, is that's important. And then we can get to all of the things that Allison is helping us, processing speed with the exercises. She has a lot of paper pencil exercises in her book. You know, so many people do crossword puzzles and all of the things. Our neighbor, He's 96 years old, and he's still teaching us bridge. He's got so many bridge masters in the village. He's like top bridge person. And he teaches my friends bridge. He plays rummy cube with us. And it's so exciting to see the brain of a person who's exercised it. But I also asked him what he attributes his longevity to and his freedom from memory loss. And he says that he never ate in a restaurant, and he always goes to bed early and wakes up with the sun and his garden and his fresh vegetables and everything that
They do say the circadian rhythms that your body is naturally, and you have to be in the deep sleep to really restore things, especially even when you're working out exercise with your body. There's that restorative time during sleep. So it makes sense that that would be the same for the brain, that it's really important. And so if you're going to bed super late and sleeping through the sun, that it's not quite the same as if you're more in line with the patterns of the sun. It's wild how that works. I have always been very, very, sleep is so important. And when I started having children, I started realizing how much I valued sleep. And it was, the whole thing of do not wake a sleeping baby. But I did learn that during the daytime you had to wake them so that you would get that restorative sleep at nighttime. But yeah, I'm like the queen of naps and quiet, they're sleeping. So I understand now, absolutely. I don't take naps as much as I would like to, but getting the sleep at night is so important.
And this restorative study said we can't restore the sleep by taking naps when we're this age, when over 80. I'm talking about us seniors. Okay, over 80. If we think we can stay up till 2 in the morning, or we are awake, and if we think we can restore it by napping, it's not the same. We don't get the REM, the quality of sleep that we do if we could really regulate our sleep time.
And does it change? Is it difficult as you age, where it's like suddenly you're waking up in the middle of the night and then sleeping during the day?
Absolutely. It does change. And I think things like neuropathy, which is something I have, spinal stenosis, which we all seem to have to some degree. At night, when you try to lie down and sleep, bam, the nerves start waking up. And that's when we, a lot of us, the doctors help us with things like magnesium is very helpful. The right dosage of the right vitamin, like magnesium, things like that help. So it is a struggle as we get older.
Well, and it makes me wonder if you're doing these brain exercises throughout the day, if, like how your body gets tired from muscle exercises, if the brain exercises help you, I wonder if it helps you to sleep.
Yes, that's what Allison says. Treat the brain as a muscle. It can be strengthened. And that she's very wise, very young, but very wise. So we all have a lot to learn.
Absolutely.
And these monthly sessions are fantastic. The group is growing, and that's very exciting.
Good. And I understand also that if you come a little bit early, you can put a request in to play from Mark.
Right. Yeah, he plays any song in any key. And it's so neat because people don't have to dread standing in line. And now we have 2 sign-in tables, so that cuts the line. And I say, come early. We have Starbucks coffee free. They give us coffee now. And of course, adapt to it, providing treats. So it's a lovely morning.
Wonderful.
And we invite everybody to come, and it's free.
Great. Well, thank you so much for being here to tell us about this month's speaker. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, Bobby. Same here.
So the Fit Brain Club is hosting their next meeting on Monday, October 9th in the Performing Arts Center, Dining Room 2 at 10 a.m. For more information, you can contact Mary Grace Carpenter at 310-780-0320. Stay with us. We'll have more of This Day coming up right after this.
Hi, I'm Dan McEachran. 35 years ago, I was lucky enough to get my start in Laguna Woods. First, building patio rooms, then kitchens. Our cabinets are all built locally in Irvine. It all began with patio rooms, like this Majorca model, which we made into a complete room. I'll pull permits. We'll take care of everything, give me a call. We'll do a nice job for you.
Welcome back. Let's talk about our movie for tonight, our Saturday movie. It's a great one, actually. Good Night and Good Luck with George Clooney. It is all about the early 1950s and the threat of communism created in the era of kind of paranoia in the United States. And exploiting those fears was Senator Joseph McCarthy of Wisconsin, as we know it as McCarthyism today. And then it talks about the story. The whole story is about Edward R. Murrow from CBS News and his producer Fred Friendly, how they decided to kind of take a stand and challenge McCarthy to expose him for the fearmonger that he was, and all the things that happened. It's a great, true biopic, and I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be at 2 p.m. with subtitles and 6 p.m. without subtitles, and that is brought to us by RadNet. Okay, let's take a look at some announcements we have for you. And we got some fun stuff coming up. It's concert time. It's good time for music tonight, folks, at the Performing Arts Center, 7:30. We got Twisted Gypsy, a tribute band, and another tribute band for Fleetwood Mac that you guys can go out there and enjoy. And so tickets are over at LagunaWoodsVillage.com. They're probably getting right there at the box office, too. If you have some questions before the show, call 949-939-3999. Wow, that's a lot of nines. All right, it's presented by the All Musicians Club. Another great one we have coming up is Autumn Colors Folk Dance Party. That's coming up, and it's going to be a live dance music with San Fronteras, or as you might know it in English, Without Borders. It is going to be on Sunday from 6 to 8:30 p.m. on October 8th. Of course, cost is $7 over at Clubhouse 7, so hope you get out there and enjoy that one. Hey, are you ready for some football? That's my only question I have for you. Well, Monday nights, you should go out and hang out with some people who are definitely ready for some football. It's every Monday throughout the NFL season over at 19 Restaurant and Lounge in the Village Greens. You can watch for free and, of course, enjoy some libations and drinks and some camaraderie while you're out there. So all the way through the season, you can go out there and watch some NFL football games. Let's get one last one in here for us before we go. The Publishing Club and the PC Club have teamed up, and they are doing some really cool stuff. We had them on the show a little while back, and this is really interesting. You can explore your roots through FamilySearch.org, and they're going to show you how to kind of take some information you might have about your family, your history, and all that kind of thing, and go out there and kind of find your roots, learn about your past, and things you may never have known about that. It is a free event, but they take any and all donations. That's going to be on Wednesday, October 11th in the Laguna Woods Village Community Center in the PC classroom. You do have to register ahead of time, so make sure you go to thepcclub.org and go to the registration instructions there, and you can do that. Let's take a look outside and take one last look at our weather before we head out. It is warm. It is definitely warm. It's nice and hot. You know, fall is just not doing its job. I'm a little bit upset. I might make a phone call. I'm not sure who I call, but I might make a phone call. 86, 82, and 78. We get a little bit of cooling, but we're going to hit some 80s during next week, too. So relief not quite in sight yet. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of This Day. I'm Michael Taylor. Remember, you can watch the program at 9 a.m., 12:30, and 5 p.m. right here on Village TV. For all of us here at Village Television, we hope you make this day a great one.
Hi there, I'm Bob Eubanks. Remember me? I'm the king of whoopee. And you're watching Village Television. But everybody does.